What do you think about Canada becoming the 51st state or us taking Greenland? Are you finally willing to criticize the administration on those?
Well, okay. First of all, Trump is not the only person. There's a phrase that's very famous. There are no permanent friends. There are no permanent enemies. There are only permanent interests. That's a phrase that's been around for a long time.
Well, it's certainly not from NATO. And alliances is different. Alliances are not necessarily friendships. They're done for mutual benefit. What does Russia want most? To weaken NATO. Trump is giving him what he wants. But let's get back to Canada. Canada, the 51st state. What's the upside on that?
Okay, first of all, I want to respond to what you said about the 80-year world alliance. You're
World
right.
order. It served us best.
You're
We
right.
benefited the
You are
most.
Trump is seeking to disrupt the world order of the last post World War II. He absolutely is. And that's what he was elected to do. And the reason why is because if you look at what happened after World War II, you had Germany's market was decimated, their economy was decimated, much of Europe was decimated, Japan was decimated. These economies needed to be rebuilt. And we, in our largesse and our generosity, we allowed them to take advantage of us. We gave them
No, we
a lot of,
created a system that helped us.
we created a
This
system that
system that you say,
disadvantaged us.
how did they take
Let me
advantage
give
of
you
us?
some, let me
We
give you some
become the
statistics.
wealthiest country in the world.
Well, let me give you some statistics. Okay, for example, in Brazil, there's on ethanol imports to Brazil, we only put a 2.5% tariff.
You're not. You're getting off in the weeds.
No, I'm not. I'm giving you
Talk
specific
about
examples.
after World War II, taking apart the world order. That has nothing to do with ethanol in Brazil. That's current day. See, I can tell when you're losing an argument because you shift from the big picture to some micro thing.
You're
Talk about
asking
what's
you
the advantage
you
of
asked me for some specific examples, and I'm giving you
no,
some. So
you're talking about something else. You're not talking
no,
about
I'm
the
not.
task at hand.
Dave, I'm talking about the fact that the developing world, of which Brazil is part of it, and the European economies in the post World War II were decimated. And so we gave them lower tariffs. We only charge 2.5% on ethanol to Brazil. They charge us 18%. And thus, last year, we imported $200 million in ethanol from Brazil, while we only exported 52 million. Here's another example. The European Union exports unlimited shellfish to America with zero tariffs, but the EU bans shellfish exports from the United States, from 48 of our states.
That's
Uh,
all great, Mary. You're talking about things today. I'm talking about what's the advantage of dismantling our alliances? What's the advantage of taking apart a trade system that's benefited us? You give me these isolated examples, but the
these are
bottom
not isolated
line,
examples. I
benefited
just told you
more. We have
600,000
benefited more
examples.
from free trade than
There are
anybody.
literally 600,000 examples where we
Yes,
are.
but the bottom line is who's become the wealthiest country in the world? We have. What's the event? But go back to Canada. Do you think is Canada should become the 51st state?
If they want to, yes.
Well, they obviously don't. They've said that they don't.
Some of them
So
don't.
what do you do now?
Some of them don't. And
No,
same
all of them
thing
don't.
with Greenland. Greenland's only a few, like what, 30,000 people?
50,000, but whatever. But
Okay,
so
well
what about Greenland?
that's like a Greenland's like a small city in terms of its population, and uh, Denmark has done a pretty awful job at ensuring their national security. They're relying on our tailwinds, and they're riding our coattails. And the fact that we
So
have
what's your point?
uh, my point is that what Trump is saying is to them, to Greenland, it would be in your best interest to become part of a country that has your best interest and actually has the muscle to protect you.
When
Because
has Donald Trump had any other country's best interest at heart? That's BS.